Our next youth is a philosopher with a philosophical question. May I present to you Indiana Rose.
Hey! Oh. You're probably asking yourself these questions when I walked across the stage right now. She's just a child? Let me answer that for you. I'm the first girl here standing right now, first speaker, a human being. Second question, isn't she going to be boring? My answer, you didn't even hear me yet. And will I learn something today? Definitely. Before I jump straight into this, I would like to brief you about the heading that I've given my speech, and that is Socrates in disguise. Well, who here knows who Socrates is? Okay, good. I gotta admit, the name could give you the creeps. Well, in case you aren't aware of who Socrates is, that's more than okay, because I only found out about him when I noticed my elder sister studying philosophy. Socrates, indeed a very Greek name, was a philosopher and someone who lived for questioning people. How is this and why is that? To the point that he died for it. Your further inquiries about him can be answered by Google, because now I shall officially begin my speech. One day, I was researching the subject psychology, how our minds work, our behavior and attitude towards certain things, and it intrigued me. It intrigued me to a point that I kept reading and reading and reading about it, giving me an idea of what I'm about to speak today. And just how Socrates questioned things, I questioned this one word. And that one word is special. Simple word, right? Well, has anyone said you were special? Or you told them they were special? Well, I've always heard this phrase. Everyone is special in their own different way, even you. The first time I heard it, it got me thinking. How? Why? There are so many people who have a lot in common with one another. People who share the same taste, style, feelings, and whatnot. I found it rather annoying that I spent a generous amount of time thinking about how each individual is gifted with a speciality, when I could have slept all day, I could have read some books or actually studied, but I didn't. One thing's for sure, I knew I simply had to do it, because if I'm not gonna question things like such, then who will? And if there are 10 more people down the list thinking of the same thing, it still concludes to the same point, and that is, we all may share the same interest at one point or another. Now, why is it? Why do we share most interests? Why don't people look at the word special? No one realizes. So, let me ask you again. Has anyone said you were special? Once again, the word special kept knocking at the back of my mind. And if my brain had a mini doorbell, then the word special was definitely ringing it. I was going to a park one day and I stumbled across a little disabled boy. And I just looked at him and I found it rather annoying that I saw people looking at him differently. I'm like, yes, he is special. And that's when it hit me. He's special. It's like almost setting your YouTube video onto 1080p HD. It's the way you see things, or how you put yourself out there in the world. The way people see you, but most importantly, that one feature that makes you special. It could be your name, your personality, the way you talk, or the way you walk. At this moment, I questioned myself. Was this really worth the hype? I mean, Google has always solved all my answers, so why not this one? Well, the word special meant more than just a Google-based definition to me. It could obviously translate to something else depending from person to person, but to me, Indiana Rose Gardner, special is my own definition. It is the definition that I see through my eyes, and it is something that defeats the boundaries of a very quick Google search. I have a brother who is indeed very special to me. He was diagnosed with a disability called autism when he was at the age of 5, and from then on, I wanted to live life by thinking like him. I wanted to live the perspective he was experiencing and understand how everything was perceived through his eyes, through his mind, and through his feelings. When I was around 7 years old, I learned that autism was a disorder that affects how people communicate and relate to other people. As time passed by, I didn't understand why people would look at my brother differently, make nasty comments, and even judge from a distance. My brother seemed perfectly fine to me, even though he would respond a lot. Autism. It's a disorder. He is human. Why do we not realize such things? And not to forget, I simply can't wrap my hands around the fact that people find those with disabilities crazy when there are bombing cases, murdering cases of all sorts, and even high school shootouts. Yet your eyes seem to gawk at little children and even adults with disabilities. Now that is crazy. If you can't even notice children or adults with disabilities, how can you possibly find or notice your speciality? Just stop. Stop. Help. Use your speciality to make a difference. Be different by showing that you are in fact special, that you can make someone else feel special, then just stand there and idle, doing nothing but waste your own time, your own talent. So you can join me, show this world that it is truly beautiful. Help show people to find their inner self and to never give up. So, this is it. I stood here and I've done my job. It's now your turn. Your turn to set your own definition of the word special, be your own Socrates under disguise, and remember, to think for yourself, find yourself. Said by the one and only Socrates. Thank you.
Thank you so much.